Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Eben, if you haven't been here before. If you're just returning to us, welcome back. And welcome to my Sunday live stream, which I do every week at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today, I thought I'd return to some thumbnails I was working on a while back. I actually put these up on social media a little while ago and sort of had people vote on which ones they wanted to move forward with. And it was actually I actually have already started number 9 on a separate project, but people really liked number 4 here, and I've got to admit I'm sort of a fan myself, and it's really resonating with me right now. And I think it's about time I paint it, bring it to the next phase. So that's what I'm going to do today. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to get going here in just a minute. I am going to grab my iPad, actually, so I can check out the comments while I'm doing this real quick. So bear with me. Oh, here, I don't know if you can see, but I was doing some horse sketches earlier. It's actually a lot of fun. I've never really drawn horses that much. Anyway. Let's go into, there it is, live stream. Beautiful. Let's pop that sound off. Excellent. Okay, so let's get into this one. I'm feeling like, I don't know, I didn't post this one across social media really. I don't know, I've sort of had a very kind of raw past few days, and I just, I don't know, sometimes even when you at certain points of your life, you look at that sort of stuff and you're just like, it doesn't matter. It's the art. The art is what is important here. So, thank you if you're just sort of joining me out of the blue here. I didn't really publicize this, but that's because I kind of want to. I mean, of course, everyone's welcome, but I just figured I'd do a bit more of a quiet sort of laid back stream here and really focus in on the art and really focus on the music and just sort of see what happens. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. And of course, as always, feel free to say hi in the chat and ask any questions or introduce yourself or leave a comment or a suggestion about the piece, and I'd be happy to talk about it. Otherwise, I'm just going to jump right in here. I'm guessing it's almost a 1:2, maybe 4,000 by 2,500 would be the right ratio. I think it's a little bit wider than that, so let's just pull that out, clear the ratio. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's certain times of the year or of your life where you're just sort of, I don't know, you're just sort of feeling everything, And I wasn't for a while, I suppose, and you don't really realize you weren't until you get into it, and then I don't know. Sometimes you can just sort of feel the world a little bit. So I feel like that's really appropriate for this painting. So let's get it. And I think maybe I really think that's what really was attractive to people about this, and what attracts me about this setup here. I think it's a really nice composition, and I think there's some nice value dynamics going on here. But it's really about the story, and there's a lot of emotion just in the brushstrokes, and I really hope I'll be able to capture that and to not lose it as I move forward. Got a few of the regulars showing up here. Welcome, Sam and Vieira and Jose and Sabrina, sorry. And good to see you all here. Beautiful. So there's something I can do here. It's just one way to move from a thumbnail to a painting. So you can literally just copy and paste it in here at a larger resolution. And you know what? I think this canvas should be wider first, actually. I think maybe even wider than it was in the thumbnail. That's just sort of an intuition I'm getting right now. So we're just going to blow that thumbnail up. There's already a bit of red in there. I don't remember making that, but maybe we can play off of that a little bit. And this was a very central composition, and I think I just want to push it over just a little bit. Just a bit more dynamics going on here. We could even pull it out even more. I think that'd be kind of cool. Be a very wide composition here. So yeah, if you're just joining us, I was just talking a little bit about. I'm just in a bit more of a passive mindset, I guess, today. So I probably won't be talking quite as much, but as I usually do, I'm just going to sort of focus a bit more on the painting. But as I said, feel free to chat and to ask questions, and I'm keeping an eye on the chat there. So Sabrina's asking what the story was behind this thumbnail. I don't know. You know, that's the great thing about thumbnails is you don't really know. There's no intention when you first start, and they're just sometimes they just come together through pure accident. I had no intention for this story. You know, feel free to suggest anything that might be able to sort of flesh this out a little bit more. But I think it's just very clear, you know, even as a silhouette. It's like you don't even have to know exactly what's happening here. You just sort of look at it and you get it, you know? So I'm going to try not to lose that as I move forward. But one of the first things I can do here is just do a quick color balance to set the tone. I think maybe this will be pretty monochromatic and subdued, which is really not something I do or have been doing much in my artwork. You know, I sometimes you'll like look at your Instagram feed or something, and I was just checking it out the other day, and I was like, wow, it's very like colorful and bright. There's a lot of primary colors, and there's a lot of sunlight and like green and nature and like all this stuff, and it's good because I feel like I'm starting to develop more of a cohesive aesthetic, which just takes such a long time to do. But I really would like to explore a bit more monochromatic things and sort of experiment with different moods. So yeah, let's just sort of jump in and start putting some color in here. I have this immediate reaction where Probably drop the resolution a little bit, actually. Yeah, I have this immediate reaction where I almost don't want to, I don't want to mess it up, you know? And you might be able to relate to that in your own work. Like, it's like, this is such a good concept. Like, I can't imagine improving it at all, which is obviously not true. But I'll probably just work in grayscale for a while here, just with subtle color shifts. I wonder what the sky is going to be like. I mean, when it's just white like this, I should probably I'm just gonna get rid of that white, actually. I don't want it to be pure white just yet. Same back here. I'm gonna save my highlights for the best spots, you know? Welcome, Inez, and more cohesive aesthetic. Good. Glad that's, yeah, starting to come across. It's like, it's something you can't really practice. It's one of those weird art skills where it's like, just sort of comes with time, you know? I think I'll just start with some clouds here, because I like clouds. I'm a big fan. And I do want this to be sort of my brightest point of focus, so I'm just going to sort of make a note of that. I want there to be a strong silhouette right here, so I'm going to dial up that white. And then maybe we can play with that a little bit over here. It doesn't have to be a real drastic value change too. Sometimes it's fun to just work with very subtle color changes, and especially in areas that are non-focal areas that you want to develop. I feel like that's what a lot of great artists are good at, is being able to convey detail and develop less important parts of their painting with subtlety, you know? I feel like I always sort of cop out by just like blurring them out or making them really sketchy, you know? Which, I don't know, it's a stylistic thing. It's not necessarily a cop out, but it's definitely easier that way to just sort of say that, well, this is a point of non-focus, so I'm just gonna make it non-focused, you know, in a very in terms of the shape and in terms of the saturation and everything. But you can have detail throughout your painting and still give it focus. I don't yet know what kind of environment he's in. I guess it looks like a male character at this point. Doesn't have to be. I feel like I have a strong tendency to create female characters for some reason. I don't know. They're just aesthetically more aesthetically pleasing to me. But it's also like I kind of like to explore that world a little bit. My brother this stuck with me for some reason. I don't know why, but we used to play video games together quite a bit. And we don't really anymore, just because it's not like something we really feel is beneficial to our lives anymore. So we ended up getting rid of the Xbox, or selling it. But you know, he used to we used to play Fable. We had Fable 2 for a while, which is like, you know, if you're not familiar, it's like a a role-playing game where you can, you know, create your character and sort of customize them and grow a kingdom and all this cool stuff. I walked in the room once and he was playing the game, and he, you know, it's like why do you always choose the lady character? It's because he had chosen I feel like he always chose the female character, and he was just like, because I don't get to be a lady in real life. Just like, it's like, because I don't get to, so I want to try it out in the video game. I'm like, you know what? That's that's a great point. So I guess some of that comes across in my artwork as well. And I do the same thing a lot too. If I ever get into video games again, which, like I said, I don't much anymore, but you know, when I do, I really get into it. It's like there's no halfway point really. I'll just like get into it for a couple days and not really do anything else really, because I just get very absorbed in the world, and that's kind of what I get out of it. I never really enjoyed like doing the multiplayer things or anything. I just liked sort of engaging in the world and like making it as realistic as possible, you know, putting it on like the hardest difficulty and like seeing if I could survive, you know, that kind of stuff. And not even like as a challenge, it's just like an element of immersion, you know, to like really put myself in there, really put the imagination to work. And I think if you do play video games, that's the way to do it, you know. Let your imagination do some of the work there, you know. I don't know. I digress here, but yeah. My point being, when I do that, I will now often choose the lady character, because yeah, he's right. That's what they're for, right? To explore alternate realities and explore different possibilities. So disgraced male warlord. What a backstory. Oh yeah, I mean, as a writer, I'm sure you really run with it. Yeah, that's the great appeal of fiction too, right? I mean, you get to embody these characters. This book that I've been working on I haven't been working on it for the past year, but I spent 2 years just after college putting it together, and I finished it, and then I realized it was just part 1, so I have to finish parts 2 and 3. They're already plotted out, but I have to write them, and I have sort of promised myself that I can't start that until I finish my album first, because I just have too many projects going on right now. And I've really reached my limit, so I can't really, you know, I've divided myself up too much already. But once I'm finished with that, or once I, you know, things die down a little bit or become a bit more, I mean, I don't think my business is ever going to take less time. But anyway, um, it's like it's probably one of the most fun creative projects I've engaged with in my life, and I just love writing. And there's something so malleable and unique about it that you just don't get with any other medium. And so, yeah, I am what ends up being the protagonist is this female character, and it was just interesting. Part one is written from the male protagonist perspective, and he ends up being the antagonist, actually. And then in part two, the story shifts to this female character's perspective, and it was quite a. I haven't written all that part out yet, but it's a very interesting experience writing from that perspective and just trying to imagine, how that might play into, her reactions and character decisions and everything. Yeah, I can't wait to get back to that. So fun. And I want to create art for it too, because I've just visualized everything so clearly in my head. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't expect to really make anything of it, or like make money off of it or anything like that, and that's probably good, because I don't know, it can be a bummer when you have to sort of try to monetize everything, but or I don't even really expect or really care if anyone reads it, to be honest. And that's what's just so great and pure about it. It's just like it's all for me, man. And my artwork is like that too, but to a lesser extent. And there are definitely days where you just have to do it. It's not but I've been sort of bringing those principles to my art practice a bit more recently, and really getting into the process of it. Yeah, it's funny with there's also this freedom with a creative medium that you're an amateur at. It's quite a relief, actually, in a lot of ways, to know that you don't have years of experience. And I mean, I've written for all my life, and I've been told I'm a fairly decent writer, but it's never something I've like practiced actively. I've never like sought to improve that skill in anything outside like the collegiate experience. And so it's almost a relief. It's like I know it's going to be flawed, and when it isn't, it's more of like a miracle. It's like, oh wow, like I actually somehow managed to write something really good here. And that's just kind of fun. There's a lot of freedom with that is a bit harder to reach with a skill that maybe you've built your profession around or built your life around or anything like that, I'm very excited about it. Whenever I think about it, I lament the limitations of the 24-hour day cycle, I mean, I'm always thinking about that to an extent. It's just like so much to do, so little time, but you do what you can. There are ways around it. it was what's his name? Andrew Kirby, this YouTuber, this young dude, younger than I am. I think he's like 22 or 23, but he's got a lot of very, very insightful videos. And you should check him out. He had this one video about there's just this very sweet logic to it. It's like, you're limited by time. You only have so much time in your life, but you can increase the amount of time that you have by using it more efficiently. So like, essentially you can live longer by making more out of the time that you have. I thought that was an interesting principle. And I don't mean just about productivity, I mean about just really making the most out of every experience. It's just sort of an abstract concept, I know. But yeah, we'll have to chat about that book sometime. It's funny talking about, like, whenever I talk to you, it's about about book schedules and that kind of thing. It's just they happen over such a long period of time. It's just you're like talking about 2022 and 2023. I'm just like, those aren't real years. It's like my sister talked to me the other day, or like she announced to her she's getting married. She got engaged a little while ago, and she's just like, yeah, we're planning our wedding for June. I was like, oh, June, that's cool. She's like, yeah, June 2022. It's like, what? That's not a real year. That's never gonna happen. But I don't know, man. Big things take a lot of time sometimes. And books definitely do. Especially if, like, you don't currently have the time or headspace to work on them. Anyway, I'm sort of wearing myself out talking, so I'm gonna shut up for a minute here. It's interesting to see the different perspectives on video gaming. It's actually, it's definitely present throughout our culture, but I feel like especially in the artist community, and specifically like the visual artist and the concept artist community. I mean, I guess because the natural product of concept art usually is video games. But yeah, I've always perceived it as something that really doesn't benefit me in a long-term way. Doesn't benefit my craft, and I feel like there are always better ways to use time, but there are a lot of artists that use it for inspiration. And I suppose it just all depends upon who you are and what you want out of your time, you know? Specifically, I just have never. I think partially the reason um, I abstain from it is because I've always had difficulty managing it. You know, it just becomes very consuming for me, and I sort of lose interest in other activities, and it disrupts my sleep and everything else I'm trying to do. And it just sort of it leads to physical, like I have back problems, and even sitting here for 2 hours can be quite painful sometimes. Which probably means I should try to get a different chair or something, but I've tried so many different chairs and options for that. I tried like a kneeling chair and all this stuff. I don't know. I just have to stretch a lot basically. But anyway, yeah. I'll like get hours into a game, and it sort of makes me forget about that pain for a while, and then I stop and I'll like go to lie down, and I'm just like, oh, what did you do? What did you do to your body? It's just like I just sort of tortured it. And yeah, but that's, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think the same applies to everyone. And it's just interesting seeing here in the chat like how different people have different relationships with it. I'm like still not even sure what's happening with this color palette. Guess I'll find out. I'm just sort of slowly working it up, you know? I guess the sky can be blue or purple or something. I don't know. I kind of liked the white, honestly. It's like overcast, you know? I feel like I always make these really huge dynamic clouds, and on a clear sunny day, you know, I guess, like I said, that's sort of become my aesthetic almost. But I want to challenge that today. Do something a bit more subtle, a bit more. Guess I've switched the light source too, haven't I? Yeah, I guess before it was coming from over on the left side here. No, it's not. Yeah. Should probably sit a little differently. I figuring it out. Turn up this peaceful music here. I just realized you guys can't really hear that. It's very nice. Here I'm just going around with the smudge tool, just pushing some paint around, creating some more clarity in some of these shapes. I'm getting the sense that I want to create something a bit darker here. Maybe not, though. I forgot to go into focus mode. It's key. Yeah, I mean, it's like a very human story, but I'm creating a fantasy world around it. I guess just because I can, because I like making stuff like this, you know. Things that are sort of inconceivable or unlikely. I almost want to take a big soft brush. Which I don't really use that often, but I just sort of want to create some foggy things. Hey there, welcome, I think that's Matt? Boy Wizard. Good to see you here. Might be wrong there, but... Yeah, we got a decent handful of people that are showing up pretty frequently here. Right. I know. I don't know if this will ever quite blow up. I don't know, I'm learning. I'm not very good at manipulating the algorithm, but perhaps someday there will be an audience of millions. You guys will all get the backstage passes. It's the OG crew. Not sure about this shape. Let's do that. Well, since it's the focus of this painting, I might as well do something with this foreground. Probably just gonna separate it out onto a different layer as best I can. I don't know what these closer objects are. But, yeah, let's just copy. Copy or, let's try cutting it. Cut and paste. Just realized this, I think it doesn't make a difference. I don't know if I could handle millions of subscribers. That sounds exhausting. I've never been famous excuse me, famous for anything before, so this is always the first time for everything. I guess most people aren't, though, you know. It's a weird thing, especially if you're like an internet celebrity. That'd be pretty weird, right? Because like you've never actually met these people, but they're just like all over your stuff, all your chat groups or whatever it is. Guess that's the only option for me, though, because it's not like I'm doing live performances of this stuff in front of a crowded hall. I always like had this fantasy of being like a musical celebrity, you know. I always thought that would be pretty cool, like playing to a huge crowd and like a big stage. But I knew, I mean, could still be possible, but you have to kind of make a career out of it, and I don't think it's really a good time to try to make a career out of music. I mean, you can do it, but especially now, like after all this, it's become very clear that they're not is not like a well backed whoops, am I painting on this other layer? Yeah, of course I am. That explains it. I'm just gonna cut this stuff out. Cut. But yeah, I don't think I don't really have any high aspirations of becoming a professional musician. But I do enjoy it quite a bit. I like to share it with people when possible. I know. I love how I said like I'm gonna go work on this foreground, and then I just went straight back to working on to painting these clouds. I told you I can't keep away from them. It's like they just call me in. What is it? Creatuinary? Fishman, Bloodsucker Dragon, and Monkey Warrior. It's kind of crazy. It's just like, it's like a monthly thing. I guess so, because it sounds like January. That'd be cool. I drew a bunch of horses today and yesterday. That was actually really fun. I love horses, and I never really got around to drawing them much. It's pretty cool. I'm sure that'll come in useful at some point. I think Saturdays right now are creature days for me. Goes Sunday's the live stream. That's like kind of my practice for the day. But I don't know, I'll usually do other stuff too. But then Monday is figures. Tuesday is... What is Tuesday? I've written them all down. I have a chart over here actually. Tuesday is landscapes. Wednesday is master study. That's actually a new one I put up there. That's actually one of my goals for this this next phase of my development. Like, I've noticed a lot of great artists that are like just doing something that I am not getting, you know? And like I'm starting to see like almost this common thread where it's like there's something about the quality of their work. So I've been like assembling all this great work from all these different artists, and I'm just gonna like I want to develop a good progression of practice, you know, but like art is such an intangible thing to practice because there's no like measurable result. It's like, how do you know if your quality is improving? Like, yeah, you can see it, but like, you know, if you're training to be an Olympic gymnast or like a basketball player, it's like, oh, how many, you know, free throws can you make in X amount of time? It's like, it's very quantifiable. And like with art, it's just not like that, you know? So, I guess I just sort of reasoned like, look, the only real objective way to reach the level of quality that these people are making is to just try to copy them and like see if you can do it, see if you can get close just by mimicking their work. Like, I already do a lot of studies of like natural subjects and stuff like that, but I have not done too many master studies, and I just think that's going to be the next phase. It's like really trying to figure out what it is they're doing that I'm like missing it so far. This is turning into a pretty cool painting though. I didn't really see it going in this very cloudy direction, but I guess I just needed something to do with this, the right side of the canvas here. But I should probably go back to this and work on it. I'm actually just going to should probably just fill in that space first. Something generic here. Whoops. Okay. Close enough. Just because I like to sort of make my layers really separate and clear, but oh no, look what I did, something weird with the clouds there. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, whatever, I'll just live with this. I'll just try to work outward I like these paint strokes, you know? At first, I guess I thought it was going to be raining. And that's kind of where that came from. I don't know what it means now, but I just like the movement of it. I guess it could be like wind or something, you know? Blowing some leaves. I'll make sure to make a note of that. I also, something I should do, which I sometimes forget to do. Let's copy this. It's just like use that thumbnail as, oops, wrong window here, as a reference. Yeah, that's right. Right, everyone is a master to someone. I mean, there's always going to be someone better than you. And I don't know, maybe that's not a good way to frame it. There's always going to be someone that you can learn from, right? So I'm glad that reminds me, I should save this thing, man. Oh, I don't know if any of you were here for the last the last stream. I got to the very end, and I was talking about it too. I was talking about it earlier. I was like, oh, I should probably save so this doesn't crash, and then I didn't, and then it crashed. Like, it never. I was like, this. Yeah, that never happens to me, and then it happened, and I originally didn't lose too much because I was able to recover. That's, I guess, a great thing that Photoshop does is, you know, it allows you to, they'll like automatically save a version at some point, you know. But sometimes it took me back like 30 minutes of work, which I guess I could handle. Could have been worse. I could have lost the whole thing. And actually, that piece ended up being really nice. I ended up finishing it up. I actually have a follow-up video to that. That I have to put out. It's just like the last detailing phase of that painting, and I just wanted to be able to show that to you guys in case you saw the first part and you wanted to see how I finished it. But anyway, this is live stream 27. Yeah, I'm actually gonna take a quick 5-minute break here because we're at our hour mark, and I will be back in just a few minutes here. So grab some coffee or you know, do whatever you gotta do, grab a snack, and I will be right back. All right, the gong has sounded. It's time. Getting all my sustenance in there. My brain fluid. It's coffee, by the way. All right. Okie doke. All right. Let's do this. Actually, maybe what I'll do for this background is I'll just something like that. Hope I'm not destroying too many of my details here. But it should be fine. Let me just paint over it. Alright. I did that because I want to be able to manipulate this silhouette very cleanly, so now here we are. I can use the smudge tool to just sort of smooth out some of those connections I made there. Steampunk soundtrack. Yeah, I know this. I got this off of Epidemic Sound. Got some cool sounds there. Check them out. All right, foreground. Let's clean up the silhouette a little bit. Tone down the music by several notches. It's almost like sculpting. Subtractive sculpting, you know? It's like revealing the marble statue. His face looks pretty weird right now. Looks like he's I can just sort of mush it into place though. Maybe I'll just sort of go with the flow of some of these lines I've already set up here. It's always more efficient to build on what you've established rather than trying to create something new out of it. I wonder if there's a gap that we can see through here. I think there is. I wonder if his other arm... Let's try something. Whoops. I don't know what I just did. His other arm could be back here, holding on to something. I don't know. It could work, but it just doesn't sell the same message, you know? Going against the grain here. Should probably just quickly sketch out. Whoa. Alright, I gotta stop doing whatever it is I keep doing. So I'm gonna quickly sketch out. The form of the body, just because that's going to help me help me understand how he's all put together here. Make sure I get all my proportions right and everything. It's like an X-ray. Sometimes it's just a good way to check. Make sure everything's working right together. Maybe his other leg could be coming out like that. Maybe not. I don't know. I guess he's just squatting, right? I'll make sure his center of balance is in the right spot. I might be overthinking this. Just want to know, is he sitting on something or is he just squatting here? Like, what's he doing? Is it both? Or maybe he's cross-legged? Is that possible? Maybe it doesn't matter. That's an interesting thought. Did you ever print any of your own work to hang around your house? Yeah, it's everywhere. I've printed a lot of my work, and a lot of it's just rolled up in a milk crate. But some of it isn't. It's got a nice one right here. This puppy. It's nice to just to do it. It looks nice as a print, you know. It's one of the perks of being an artist, or a digital artist especially, or whatever, you know. You can just sort of print them out and do whatever you want. You can make t-shirts out of them. You can just make a lot of stuff for yourself, even if you don't for anyone else. Anyway, I don't know what I just learned from doing all that sketchy stuff, but honestly, it may not even be that important. That's kind of where I'm at with that. But in any case, I'll try to shape this out a little bit more specifically. I almost feel like I don't need to. That's the funny thing. Let's see if we can maybe Seems like there's a rock right here, so I'll work that in. And he's wearing pants, so make some pants patterns here. It's cloth overlapping, that kind of thing. Still want to keep it subtle, keep it pretty low contrast. Well, yeah, that's the problem with... Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to do before I took my break. I was going to... See, I was just going to screenshot this. And use it as a reference. Which is a thank you for reminding me of that. But I think part of the issue is, part of the issue with the thumbnail is there are a lot of things that you didn't specifically articulate. And so it's kind of something you have to provide as you move forward. Because like the overall silhouette remains, let's flip this. The overall silhouette remains the same, right? But there's just a lot of details down here that I didn't include. It's just all one thing there, but it couldn't hurt to keep an eye on that as I move forward here. Just to make sure, I'm not straying too far from my initial vision. And it doesn't look like I have, because I'm, checking the thumbnail. I'm trying to keep a lot of my values and everything in the same place. But I am starting to introduce a bit more variation and distinction. And that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, I don't know if I even need to create much detail here, but I'm just going to see where it goes. Maybe I'll just create a rock here. I'll just like solve the problem for me just by creating something that covers it up. It's the real strategy, man. If you don't know how to do something, sometimes just cover it up. If it's not that important, sure, just go for it. You don't need it. I think maybe he is cross-legged. Or something. Something like that. I don't know, I'm just messing around with the silhouette here. It's totally possible. I think that looks okay. Yes, go ahead and steal my clouds. Do whatever you want with them. If you have been inspired, you've done my job. My work is done. I mean, my work with this piece was almost done before I started, right? Like, the concept has already been clearly conveyed, and I haven't changed it really at all. I've just given it a bit more clarity and detail, you know? Guess I should make his hand look like a hand. It's easier with the silhouettes because you just don't have to do quite as much. Let's just sort of make the suggestion of what it is, you know. So we can zoom in for a second here and make some kind of oh yeah, I forgot I created this brush. I'll probably throw it in the next pack. It's just like the opposite of the pointy eraser, but it's just it's kind of like an inky sort of brush. I'll probably include that in the next brush pack update. Which, if you haven't gotten already, by the way, is the link is in the description below. Check it out. I've had a lot of really great feedback on that on the reviews on the page there. I don't know, what should he be holding? Like a pendant necklace of some kind, something something that he of someone that he lost. So I think this is gonna be like a grave or like a monument of some sort, you know. Ooh, you know what I should do is I should have this sort of waving in the wind a little bit because his hair is blowing too, you know, just like coming out like that. House key. It's just his lanyard with all his car keys and everything. Yeah, be funny. I don't know, maybe it should be a little glowing thing. A little crystal. And then all this stuff here. I guess that could be like some sort of grave or temple. Whoops. Maybe include a bit more color here, bit of green. Nothing too intense, but oh, this could be like a burial mound, you know? What if we just copy paste? What if we just like push this up a little bit? It's like where he buried his buddy. This is very sad. It's kind of a weird framing. I don't know if it works or not, but it's kind of like a bunch of different focal areas. I'll probably organize them a bit later so that one is there's a hierarchy to them a bit more. I don't even know if I want to have sunlight hitting this area actually, but we'll try it out and we can always make it a silhouette later if we want. It's like one of those, what do you call them? Like the cairns or the little rock towers you see on hiking trails. Only this one's a bit improbable. Maybe we can have a few other rocks around here. Guess we can make this a bit less improbable. Just sort of squish it down a bit. It'll help with the flow of things, too. There could be other people here, too. Sort of gathered around, you know? You can explore that on a different layer. Just sort of silhouettes. And he's like, it's like everyone's sad, but he's the only one where it's just like, no one understands. No one understands. I was the closest to Dumbledore. I've been listening to a lot of Harry Potter on tape, so I think a lot of that's leaking into my brain here. I don't know if I want to include all these people, to be honest. Yeah. Done. Can make some more green stuff here, though. That'd be kind of cool. Ooh, swords and spears. That could be kind of cool, like a little monument. Let's try that. I guess we want to have one central and have like some kind of thing, something waving in the wind, a flag or a. We can have some smaller ones around here. I should probably use my builder brush for this. Have some flowers maybe. Getting real morose here. Of course, if the wind was really blowing this hard, these rocks would probably not stay standing here. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they're assembled by magic or something. I don't know. You just create first and then come up with the explanation later, you know? Guess this could be like some kind of red thing here. This music's pretty weird, huh? Not really the same mood, is it? It's very spacey. This was better for the Alien Landscape live stream. This one needs something more somber. direction a little bit. I don't know. I feel like this sort of changed the focus a lot, but it can still be more of a silhouette, you know, if we just select all this, take a soft round. I don't know, I kind of like that better. Probably just kick up the saturation a bit, or maybe do another color balance. Really draw out the contrast. Again, there I go with the contrast. I don't know if that even did anything. I guess it didn't. Kind of like this vertical theme. What's going on here? It's like everything's sort of going in the same direction. But I wonder if, like, if this actually was skewed a bit, you know, like over that way. It could work. There's just a lot of confusion over here. I'll have to simplify at some point. I'm not too worried about it now. Probably do a interesting like perspective thing here. Not sure what's going on around here, but sort of help with our flow. Should think about what kind of shape I want here. Let's compare this with our thumbnail. Pretty similar. His leg is doing something different. The overall focus is a little different. I think I want to get rid of this patch of sunlight down here. I think it's just not vibing well with everything else. Maybe just like a little bit there, but not too much more. I think there was just too much contrast. It's getting in the way. Bit of glow on the stone, yeah. It might make it disappear. We can try that though. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I'm sort of uncertain about the composition here. Not sure how all these elements are working together. I think I want to have this sort of pointing over this way. Like the wind is blowing it, but it's also redirecting our attention over here. And I can move this over just a bit. And then this cloud up here will bring our attention back over to him, so we can get something of a circular motion here if we develop it a bit more. Let's go back here and make that cloud circle a bit more clear. Lead it right from the flag up overhead. And then back over this way. Maybe to complete the cycle, just create another spear here. Whoops, did I put that in the background? Yep. Oh well, whatever. It's not a big deal. Except I guess I do want it to be overlapping. Alright. Oh well, it's not that hard to create a spear. Just do it again. Looks kind of funky, doesn't it? Not really sure how this wavy thing is working. Probably just go back to that if I need to. Maybe I'll There could be a lot of spears here. I don't know, maybe I'm going overboard with the spears, but... This one could just have a different flowy thing, or... Another one, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe a bit smaller, somewhere closer. I don't know, that those are pretty high contrast. Maybe I can lighten them up a bit. Same with this one. Bit of wet glow on the stones. Yeah, that can be cool. Yeah, right. Everything's gonna be pretty pretty wet because of all the fog, right? What kind of cool brushes do we have for that? Probably use the brick stroke here within a selection. Let's try that. It's a pretty bad selection. Kind of works. Guess there could be some grass too. Use our dry brush is actually really good for grass stuff if you make it big enough. Why does he see? He seems like super big. I think the perspective thing I did made it look like he's very large and far away. What if he was? Hang on, I just want to try something here. What if he was like a lot smaller? I don't know. I'm gonna trust that I was doing the right thing with my thumbnail there. I'm just not gonna worry about that. I'm not sure about these spears either, but I'll probably take a break and look at this in a second. In the meantime, I can sort of just mess with this perspective a bit. Maybe there should be some more color here. Maybe not that much. Whoa, that's intense. That could be a rock reflection. Probably just gonna have to take a break from this and come back to it. I think I'm maxed out for now, but we've got a good start here. Let's zoom in so we can view it in all its glory. Yeah, still a lot left to do, but still looking fairly true to the original and looking like a good concept and a good painting. I think we'll just need to keep at it for a while. So that's it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me, and good to see you all here at our regular time here. And keep an eye out for another video I'll be putting out this Wednesday, as I do every week. And yeah, thanks for coming by, and I will catch you on the next one.